Shalom, my friends, and welcome back to the Tea Table. Today's message is one that I believe can change your life forever because it's from the Lord. Shalom, my friends, and welcome back to the Tea Table. Today's message is one that I believe can change your life forever because it's from the Lord. And whatever the Lord gives us is always a life changer. I remember when I was just a kid living in New York City, my older brother and I had the opportunity to go to camp at a place called Bear Mountain in upstate New York, which was in the middle of the woods. We weren't used to so many trees and the feeling of being alone in nature without the sounds of cars and just plain noise. Amazing, our mom took us out of the city with the hectic lifestyle of the city, but we couldn't take the city out of ourselves. Anyway, we had an opportunity for the two of us to go in a canoe, of all things, in this rather large lake, although the area where we were was completely roped off for our safety. There we were, me in the front with my paddle, and my brother in the rear with his paddle. Great combination, you might be thinking. You would be wrong. I wanted to go to a small island in the middle of the lake, and my brother wanted to go to a clump of trees on the other end of the shore. Thinking back on what the scene must have looked like would have caused anyone to roll over with laughter. There I was in the front, rowing as hard as I could, splashing all over the place. And there my brother was in the rear of the canoe, paddling in the opposite direction, also splashing all over the place. Bottom line, there was a lot of splashing, but not an inch of travel. And this went on for almost 15 minutes until it turned into a duel of paddles, standing up in the canoe until the canoe flipped over and the adventure was over. Thank God we were both good swimmers. Well, this scene brought to mind a verse from Amos chapter 3, verse 3, which tells us, "Can two people walk together without agreeing on the direction?" Granted, in our case, it would have read, "Can two brothers row together without agreeing on the direction?" And the answer would have to be absolutely not. How can two people agree on doing anything unless there's some form of agreement on what you're doing and where you are going? In the Hebrew, when you take a closer look at Amos 3:3, it means much more than just going someplace. The word walk means a manner of lifestyle, and together means a union or unitedness. The word together means much more than we agree, but is like a union or to betroth. So Amos is really telling us, how can two people reach a destination unless their manner of life is betrothed in a union together to the agreement of the destination? Why Amos 3:3? Because we as believers desire to be used by God in signs and wonders. We sometimes even dream about laying hands on someone and watching as the blind see and the deaf hear, or speaking a word and the lame jump up and walk, as in the case of Acts 3:8. He, the crippled man, jumped to his feet and began to walk. Then he went with them into the temple courts, walking and jumping and praising God. And all because an obedient man of God seized the crippled man by the right hand, raised him up, and immediately the crippled man's feet and ankles were strengthened. Most of us would have loved to be used by God for a time such as this. The wonderful thing about that is, God himself would also love for us to be that person to be used by him as well, for the very same kind of miracles. So God is in agreement, and we are in agreement that we want to be used for signs and wonders on the earth. We also have a destination, which in this case is the miraculous signs and wonders amongst people for healings, deliverance, and setting the captives free. Again, God agrees with us on this destination, and we both agree that we would like this to be a manner of life with us. So Amos 3:3 belongs to us because we meet all the qualifications of walking together, agreeing on the same thing, and our destination is one and the same, namely people. Well, I said all of that as an introduction to a wonderful verse which is found in 1 Samuel 10:7. And let it be, when these signs come to you, that you do as the occasion demands, for God is with you. When you get a gut feeling, and let's call it what it is, a desire, an inclination, a leading to lay hands on a sick person or pray for a needy individual, or maybe a name or a face pops into your mind seemingly out of nowhere, and you have a sudden need to lift that person up, what do you think that gut feeling is? And where do you think it came from? That, my friends, is a sign, and that sign comes from the Lord. How many times have you been at a certain place, maybe in a mall, maybe on the street, and you see a person in a wheelchair, and you have compassion, and you also have a gut feeling or a sign that you would like to see that person be able to get up out of that wheelchair, and even more than that, that you would like to be the instrument that God uses to enable that person to get up. Do we do it? Usually not. Why? Well, there's lots of reasons, like fear of failure. Too many people around, and if it doesn't work, they will all see. Giving the individual in the wheelchair hope and then letting him down because he didn't get healed. Maybe you're not sure if you are really hearing from the Lord, and it would have been easier if you had a really, really big sign from heaven that you are to go and do it. Let me put your mind at ease. There are 3 things I've personally learned, and I'm 100% sure it applies to you as well. 1, I can't heal anyone. 2, I can't save anyone. And 3, I can do both 1 and 2 through Jesus. And without Jesus, the only thing I can do well is fail. You see, my friends, having that sign or gut feeling to be used by God to heal or get someone saved isn't something that is born from your inner man. It isn't something that your mind is constantly fixed on day and night while you go through the hectic paces of what we call life. When that desire does come upon you, learn to trust that it is actually a sign from God, because God desires to use you as an instrument to bring about signs and wonders right there and then. When you do come to that place of knowing that it's from God, and that only through God can you actually do it, and you claim 1 Samuel 10:7, when these signs come to you, that you do as the occasion demands, for God is with you. Use the sign as an opportunity to meet the demand of the occasion. And fear not, because you can't heal anyone, and you can't save anyone anyway. And God can, and God is with you, so you can't fail. And allow God to use you as the vessel to get His work done, knowing that He and only He will get all the glory, the honor, and the praise. And with that, I leave you with this. Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'honecha. Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'yesamlecha shalom. The Lord bless you and protect you. The Lord cause the light of His face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn all of His attention to you and give to you His peace. God bless, my friends, and I'll see you again next week at the tea table.